Anyway, let's move on to NRL action. And the first game we'll look at this week, Roosters Storm. What do we got here?
Storm are favourites.
Roosters.
5.5 points. $1.46, $2.60.
Do you want us to give us some stats around that game?
Sure. Storm have won 4 straight and 5 of the last 6. 7 of the last 11 games have been decided by 8 points or less. 6 of the last 11 decided by 3 points or less. So pretty tight games traditionally. 8 of the last 10 have gone under the total. The average total in those 10 is 31.2. This week's total is 40.5. The average total in the last 3 is 33.33. So I said traditionally, this has been a pretty tight match. The last 3, the Storm have won by an average margin of 26. The average winning margin in the last 11 is 10.2. If you take out those 3 big blowouts and you look at the other 8 games in the last 11, it goes down to 4.1, the average margin. So don't know if we want to look long term here or if we want to look at recency bias, but I think for mine, the Storm win this away from home.
How do you see this playing out, Blake?
Look, it's so tough. I hope all the Origin players play because it's going to be a blockbuster. I really want Tedesco to play so I can see Joseph Manu versus Olam because I'll pay to see that. 2 of the best centers around today. Look, I'm leaning towards the Roosters just because if the Origin players don't play, I think the Roosters have enough cover, whereas the Storm have cover, but I just don't think they have the depth as the same as the Roosters. So in saying that, the Roosters are now the new Parramatta, the most inconsistent team in NRL, but I'm going for the Roosters 1-12.
Shirley, you're along the same lines?
I'm going to go with the Storm. I think Nelson's coming back into the mix. Harry Grant, of course, named to return, but that's pending Origin. And the big one for me, just Jerome Hughes back in the mix, and he's outstanding. I think I saw a stat they've won like 14 out of 15 games where he's played and Munster hasn't. So that just shows his importance to the team. And yeah, like Blake mentioned, the Roosters, they're the new Parramatta. Just not so sure on them. And I think Melbourne will just be too good.
You?
I'm leaning the Storm way as well. Roosters have just been too inconsistent for me this season. And I do like the way the Storm have been going. I think Harry Grant will back up after Origin, unless he picks up an injury. And I think just across the board, they should have a little bit too much. This one's at the SCG, isn't it? So,
yeah. I don't think
just be careful as well, because I think Harry Grant has been out for a while in the Origin camp with either ankle injury or something. So knowing Bellamy, he might give him a rest if he's, been sore through Origin.
I mean,
just
Brandon Smith's not a bad backup.
They're just trying to turn you.
I don't think they can afford, either of them afford to not play the Origin stars. Roosters down in 7th. Only, they could get gobbled up with a loss and get kicked out of the 8. The Storm sitting pretty in 2nd, but could equally drop down to 6th, 5th if they lose. So I know it's only one game. But...
So you're saying a draw?
No, I said they can't afford to not play the Origin stars.
Right, okay. Who are you saying?
I said Storm.
Oh, okay. Storm.
Come on, mate. Use your tarangas.
Oh, that's better. The next game, Broncos Raiders.
Raiders have won 3 straight, all at home. The Broncos have won 6 of the last 10. The favourites have won 8 of the last 10, and the home team has won 7 of the last 10. All leaning towards Broncos here. The over has hit in 5 straight and 7 of the last 10. The average total in those 5 is 48.8. This week's total is 41.5. Average total in the last 10 is 42.9, so that's still higher than this week's one. Average winning margin in the last 10, 12.5. Only 4 of the last 10 have been decided by a single-figure margin. And both teams average about 21 apiece in the last 10.
Broncos, at time of recording, $1.44 head-to-head.
Give me all of that, please.
Raiders 270. Broncos are a 6.5 point favourite. And as you said, the total's at 41.5.
I am all over the Broncos here.
Broncos.
Yeah.
You are hometown fan as well, Sealy?
Yeah, I just think that Adam Reynolds coming back in is going to be huge for them. I noticed Capewell's not named. They said they're going to give him the weekend off after Origin, so that's pretty confident stuff there. Canberra, of course, Whiten and Papali in the mix. So if they get through unscathed, then look, the Raiders aren't a team you can underestimate. Harawira Naira back as well, so he adds a bit of starch to that pretty impressive pack. So I think it's going to be really close. And if the Raiders did win, I wouldn't be surprised. But Broncos at Suncorp, so you got to back them in. But 1-6 margin, I think that line's probably about right. It's going to be really close.
Blake?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited for this game to see Reynolds and Mam together.
Yeah.
Because that kid's been on fire. Now you add Reynolds back in, and this is what I wanted to see, someone else with Reynolds. Like Gamble, he's like a Josh Reynolds, a real enthusiastic player. Will get you up when you're down, got you through the tough times. But now you need a bit of flair, and you got Mam there with Reynolds. Oh man, this could be on. Cowboys, Broncos in the top 4 again. Rugby league in Queensland's hissing. So, yeah, I think Broncos put a score on this. I'm really excited. I'm super excited for this. Plus the Whiten factor. I love Jack Whiten, but yeah, it hasn't been good the last couple of months. So Broncos in a big way.
Yep, you're right. After tonight's result, rugby league in Queensland will be well and truly absolutely fizzing.
Yes, Paul.
So
Glad we can finally be on the same page for once.
yeah, I can't go against the Broncos at home with Reynolds back in the team. They've turned that team around from what they were last season. He's made a huge difference to the Broncos. So great pickup by Brisbane.
What happened to Josh Reynolds? Just out of interest.
England. He's in England.
Yeah. Must be tearing it up. Hear about him all the time.
Did he get catfished?
No, he went through a bit of drama.
Yeah.
Good show, Catfish.
He's enjoying his time in the UK. Warrior Sharks, give us the good news.
I think I said it last time. The Warriors' record against the Sharks is probably worse than the Warriors' record against the Storm. Sharks have won 5 of the last 6, 8 of the last 10. Average winning margin across all of the last 10 is 11.8. The Sharks' average winning margin just under 15. Sharks' average score in the last 10, 25.6. Warriors 14.4. Not good. Home teams won 7 of the last 10. The average total in the last 10 is 40. This week is 42.5. Under has hit 4 straight and in 6 of the last 10.
Warriors $4.60 outsiders head to head. Sharks $1.19. Sharks are 14.5 point favourites.
I think whatever I say here, I'm going to get ribbed. But I think 14.5 is a bit disrespectful.
Surely,
I can see you laughing, Blake.
Surely you're going to be of the same sort of line of reasoning here. 14.5. Is that an insult?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one stat Carl missed is that the Warriors are undefeated under Stacey Jones. So I expect that to continue after this weekend. Josh Curran, he's back in the mix. Mate, he was playing some great footy before this injury. So that'll be a big lift for the boys, and expecting to see a spirited performance from the boys from Mount Smart. So yeah, I'll be backing them. Absolutely. Take some of that big payout there, big underdogs. So I'll be chucking the house on them responsibly, of course.
Blake, Blake, wowee.
You can't get me. You can't get me.
He's stuck to his guns.
What about the undefeated stat?
Surely you can't plead a case. Look, any team can win a game of rugby league on their day. Any team can. I don't doubt that. And I hope the Warriors do. I really hope they do. But you will not get my money that I've worked all week for to be placed on the Warriors. I just can't do it. I've taken them in a multi, as we talk later on, for plus a lot more than plus 14.5. I think that the Sharks I think the Warriors play better, and I don't think the lineup that has been named will be the lineup that comes out. I think Stacey will tinker with it a bit. Maybe Josh Curran in the starting lineup. I see Dynamis Louis on the bench. Hopefully he starts. We could put Jazz back at lock, something like this. Maybe Aiken back to the centers. Who knows? Jesse Arthurs as well in there. I think there'll be a lot of changes to the team. And I think the Warriors play a lot better because whenever you lose a coach, that team usually shows up and performs. As we saw the Bulldogs against the Dragons 2 weeks ago, they did play a lot better at home. So Sharks 1-12. You can't get me to put money on the Warriors. I hope they win, but I just can't do it.
Warriors, they're now being coached by a grand final winning coach. And you're still not going to get my money.
Also played in
No.
the grand final himself.
Not going to get my money.
Show Stacey some respect, please.
Oh, well, I'll get him a beer next time I see him. Crikey. But I ain't put my money on them. It ain't happening. You had your last chance last week. No. And I know this is usually the time you get on the Warriors when they're big outsiders. No one's expecting them to win. They turn something on. They don't know. They don't even know where the switch is to turn on at the moment. So I'm not going to.
If the Warriors win this week, you two are not allowed to come back on the bandwagon next week. And if they beat the Panthers, you're not allowed to come back that week either.
I guarantee you, I will not be backing the Warriors against the Panthers.
Yeah, all I said is I'm not backing them. I hope they win, and I hope they win. But you can't get me to back them on a betting show. You can't.
Lads, what if I told you, as a financial advisor here, that if you invest your money with me, you can make 4.6 times your money by Sunday night? You could be absolutely loaded.
Responsibly,
of course. Responsibly.
Ben Surly Madoff. Yeah. You got me.
Here we go.
No more. No, it ain't happening.